Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Happiest Hour on Earth. Tonight, we are going to be doing a fun little armchair Imagineering episode. We know that Disneyland Forward got approved by the Planning Commission, but now it goes to the City Council on April 16th to fully get approved. So that's, I think, the last step before they actually start building this $1.9 billion expansion to Disneyland, which is so crazy.
Very
and so,
exciting.
yeah, super, super exciting. I think in April, once this actually gets approved, we're going to be talking about like what we actually expect to see out of Disneyland Forward. But tonight we thought we would just have a little bit of fun with it and just come up with an armchair Imagineering game. So hypothetically speaking, let's just say that they found enough room for one land at each Disney park. What are we going to put there? It's going to be pretty exciting, and I'm very curious to see what you guys think of our choices. We also got a lot from our listeners and what they would do in each of the parks, but we want to hear from you. If you are not able to write us back on our Instagram, then definitely let us know in the comments below if you're watching on YouTube. And speaking of YouTube, if you're watching, we have a few more subscribers to get to 750, so hit that subscribe button. We have podcasts weekly, and if you're listening on a podcasting platform, go ahead and click that follow button and give us some 5 stars. That would be so amazing and would really help out our show. But with that, let's go ahead and jump on in.
Let's go. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into the list that we have of the expansions that we would add to the park.
Yeah.
Starting with Disneyland. Disneyland is lacking what I would say is kind of the essence of Disney, which is Neverland. I know that over in Tokyo Disney Sea, they have this expansion that is already in the works, which is very exciting, along with Frozen and Tangled, which is going to be incredible. I can't wait to see how those look. But Disneyland is also very lacking with this. So we would love to see a Neverland here in Disneyland.
Yeah, I definitely think a Neverland area would be pretty amazing. Obviously, there's Peter Pan and Fantasyland, but there's Star Tours and Tomorrowland. So, but imagine walking and getting to see Skull Rock, getting to see Mermaid Lagoon. Maybe it's close to Fantasyland, and then so it still is within that fantasy realm. But I think Walt Disney loved Peter Pan so much ever since he was a kid, right? We talked about this a little bit last week, that he played Peter Pan in his school play, and he was always the boy that never really grew up. And that's what he wanted other people to feel like, connect with that inner child. And so I think a Neverland would be so awesome. I had this idea of like the entrance. I love how certain lands are doing entrances now. Like Galaxy's Edge, you don't just turn a corner and you're there, right? You have like a little portal type thing that you're walking, and it kind of separates you from the rest of the park, and then you're finally in the land. Same goes for at Universal Studio at Super Nintendo World. You go through like a little, sewer, right? The green little portals.
Yeah.
I don't know if those are sewers. The tubes. Sewer sounds a lot nastier than it should be, but you walk through that and then you enter the land, right? So I think something along those lines where it kind of transitions, maybe starts looking like the London streets, but then you go through like an enclosed area that maybe kind of gives off the feel of like the Darling family house. And then maybe there's like you peel right and it looks like a window or something, and you walk into Neverland through that. Cause I just think there's something so important about like leaving your room window and getting to Neverland. I would love something like that. Yeah, like we said, Skull Rock, Mermaid Lagoon, Hangman's Tree, where the Peter Pan and the Lost Boys live, Pixie Hollow, the Jolly Roger. This also goes back to the original Fantasyland that used to have the Jolly Roger and Skull Rock in Disneyland. So bring it back and do it a full like fleshed out land.
Yeah.
And then similar to Pandora, like once it gets nighttime, you do that bioluminescence. The water is glowing.
Yeah.
There's just like a whole bunch of really cool plants that light up and all that. That'd be so cool. But
I would love to see that.
Yeah, it'd be so cool.
There's so much that you could do with a Neverland in Disneyland.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we could all agree that Neverland just needs to be in Disneyland.
It'd be
However
so
it
fun.
happens, I don't know, but
Yeah. And I think, and we actually do have some from our listeners, and we'll talk about those in a little bit, but there were some people who said, why don't we just bring all of Fantasy Springs, which includes Frozen, Tangled, and Neverland to Disneyland? I'd be all for that. But
I mean, I feel like that's kind of the trajectory.
if they get
things
that
go
extra
well over
space with
there,
Disneyland Forward, yeah.
Seems
They
like
have
they're kind
mentioned
of
that.
trying to make things similar in each park as much as they
Yeah,
can.
which I don't
kinda
really
weird,
like.
yeah.
I want the uniqueness
I
of
know.
each park.
I like
but,
to have differences in each one too, but
Yeah.
you know, they're going to do what they're going to do. And
Yeah.
not like I would hate to see all that. So
Yeah, for sure.
we'll see. We'll see what they do.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
But we were thinking, here you could have a quick service restaurant. You could do the Jolly Roger.
Smee was like
He was
the
he
chef
was
on
making
deck,
stuff.
right?
Yeah. What's it called? Like the kitchen on a ship. Isn't that called something?
I know. I'm sure it has a name. I can't think right now.
The galley? No, is that? I don't know. I'm so bad at pirate.
Probably not, but that could be a cool
Terminology.
name. Could be a cool thing to call it.
Yeah.
Pirates Galley.
Yeah, something like that. That'd be cool. For a ride, I was thinking like you got to feel like flying. I mean, Flight of Passage makes you actually feel like you're flying on a Banshee, but let's take that system and amp it up one more. So it feels like you're flying without a Banshee, a dragon, a pirate ship. Let's try to mimic a ride system that makes it feel like you are weightless and flying. That'd be so cool.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe similar to Flight of Passage where you're leaned over a little bit, but maybe like extended out a little bit more.
I could see it.
Yeah, but that'd be so awesome. We thought
True.
also like there could be a Tinkerbell area like Pixie Hollow, right? But also at Hangman's Tree where Peter and the Lost Boys live. This is a perfect way to do like a kid exploration area similar to the treehouse that we have in Adventureland, but maybe make it even crazier. A lot of like hands-on activities, and I think that'd be so cool to be where Peter Pan lives.
Yeah.
Just get to explore his little area there, his little treehouse.
Yeah. It'll be so fun.
Yeah, but we did hear from some listeners about Disneyland, and that's kind of what we came up with. We thought that would kind of fit nicely. I know you guys probably have some amazing like non-IP land ideas, and I would love to hear those. So definitely let us know. But we
them our
heard
way.
from some listeners. Do you want to hit these off?
Yeah. So we got some great ideas from our listeners, starting with at Riley on Main Street, who said, I need a villain's land. Yes,
Yeah.
we've been talking about this for so long. It would be perfect. I mean,
would
there's
be.
so many incredible villains. And, they need their space. They need their
do.
area.
Which needing their space, maybe they'll pop in a little bit later into this conversation. But
true. We'll see.
just wait and be patient, and we'll see.
We'll
there.
get there. Next up, we have at Rox Lehman, who said Fantasy Springs.
Yep.
What we're talking about here. Let's go. Love to see that.
I mean,
over
because
here.
you get Frozen, which is like moneymaker for them. You get Peter Pan, a classic, and then Tangled. Everyone loves
So
Tangled.
magical.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
and we've been needing Tangled for so long. So let's bring
she needs
Fantasy Springs over here.
For sure. Next, we have at Sandy Herrera, who said extend Fantasyland, a proper Pixie Hollow or Tangled area. Seems like a lot of people are kind of in that Peter Pan, Tangled, like those ideas are definitely prominent.
It'd be so
here.
cool to have Fantasyland next to Neverland.
Yeah.
So Fantasyland and Neverland, and they're both kind of different fields. Oh, that'd be so awesome. Yeah.
And last but not least, we have at the Mermonsters, who said, I want a Neverland with pirates, mermaids, and fairies.
Yep. I know. It'd be awesome. Be so cool. And that's kind of, it's been on our minds for so long because Peter Pan is just truly a classic.
It really is.
One I did want to bring up, we actually asked this a little bit ago, like a few weeks back, not even planning to do this episode. Maybe it kind of gave us the idea for it, but at What I'm Wearing to Disney said there should be a Yesterland, which would be so cool. So instead of Tomorrowland, which could be outdated, with how fast technology is going and moving.
Yeah.
She said a Yesterland would be really cool. So
It makes more sense.
Yeah.
Because all of that has already happened.
yeah. And it
there's-
transports you, right? Yeah.
Exactly. You're still being transported to another time, but it's all things that have happened already. So it's not like it can be outgrown or outdated.
Yeah. It's
in
pretty
time.
much every single day is Dapper Day.
I like
I guess that's kind of Main Street, but you can make it even crazier and amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
love that
think
idea.
it's a great idea.
Yeah. So we're going to move a few steps over to California Adventure. And so what we thought here, I mean, California Adventure, I believe when this gets expanded, this is probably where Pandora is going to go with Disneyland Forward. We know that Bob Iger has said that Avatar is coming to Disneyland. I hope out of the two parks it would be in California Adventure and not Disneyland. But California Adventure really has nothing to do about California. More of the adventure side.
Yeah, exactly.
Disney's adventure. They might need to change that in the future. But
I know.
I'm sure Pandora would go over there. It'd be kind of weird to have Pandora and Star Wars in Disneyland, like the original park. I mean, it would kind of be interesting if it was close to Galaxy's Edge. You get like two sci-fi really close. And actually with the rock work, to look out in Galaxy's Edge and see rock work, that's kind of far away. Like the floating mountains could be cool, but I do want it not in Disneyland. But our idea here is let's stick to where they're kind of going, right? They're doing a lot of Pixar. And I think this is technically more California than what they've done with Pixar. And still, it's not even California, but we're thinking near Pixar Pier. Let's extend back a little bit because they are going to be taking that parking lot that's kind of back in that area. And we do south of the California border. So still very close to California Adventure, more California Adventure than
what's there now.
Incredibles or I don't even know where that takes place. I guess Inside Out takes place in San Francisco. That's kind of California, right? With the emotional whirlwind. But so do like a south of the California border. So just kind of extend Pixar Pier. And there we have Encanto and Coco. And you know that everyone's been wanting more Coco or any type of Coco because there's literally no Coco.
Yeah.
For Coco, you could start in Mexico because obviously Mexico is before Colombia. But you go to Coco area first. You could go to Santa Cecilia, go hang out in the plaza, live music at night from local bands, or just you sign up and they'll let you play. I feel like that'd be so cool and such the essence of what Coco is about, right? Seizing your moment in a not villainous way. But we need a ride. We need a dark ride here. That is an Omnimover. I think Omnimover evokes the Haunted Mansion, which is great because it deals with death. And so a dark ride Omnimover that just takes you through the movie. We don't need like a new story or anything like that. Like, let's just go to Ernesto de la Cruz's grave site go turn left or right or whatever and go through, across the bridge.
That beautiful bridge.
Oh my gosh, to see that. I mean, it's honestly just so perfect and so great for an Omnimover ride system. You could use like physical props, but then screens that make it look like the Land of the Dead just keeps expanding out everywhere. That would be so cool. And so you just go through the movie. Perfect. And then for a restaurant, I feel like Ernesto de la Cruz is no longer there. So they turned his huge mansion into a nice restaurant. So you get that DJ playing like Latin hits or whatever. You just get a really nice restaurant.
Although if it's following the story of Coco, then Ernesto would still be alive, right?
No, he died in the movie.
I mean, at the very end, but if it was following like...
Well, the ride could be like the movie, but just the land would be updated, you know? Yeah. So or we just break into his house and eat all his food.
Party. We're just at the party.
Yeah, we're just at the party. Yeah. They could have like little alebrijes giving you little hors d'oeuvres.
I like it.
I like the little Spanish and French there. Alebrijes serving hors d'oeuvres. But that'd be really awesome. And then you go a little bit more south. You're in Colombia, in Encanto. Maybe no real ride here, but another like fun activity place. You see the casita. And this is another like kid exploration zone, which I think would be awesome. So, you know, the house is making music, doing a lot of fun things. Maybe there's even an animals section. I don't know how that would really work, but you know, have really cool floral things, almost like a year-round flower and garden.
Oh yeah,
flower and garden, right? Like some really cool topiaries and all that stuff over there. And then we were also thinking, you know, the Moana experience at EPCOT, where it makes you feel like you are harnessing the power of water bending. I don't know what it goes. Right, like the water is like mimicking what you do. Maybe do something similar to that at the casita, where it feels like you have your own power as well. And then maybe you could, instead of the castle at Disneyland Paris, where you go under the castle and you see the dragon under there, maybe you like sneak it through the casita and you could see like Bruno's little area where he is and you get to meet him
Yeah.
But yeah, I think all those would be, really kind of fun. Fit within the Pixar theme, kind of fit within the California theme.
Yeah.
Kind of, sort of. But then we heard from a couple of listeners, and we got at Country Critters who said, I would like a version of WestCOT or Disney Sea. I would love that too. I think the reason why we didn't put this down is because we're more talking lands, and I would just want a huge park of that. But yeah, Austin, that'd be so perfect. I'd be all for a WestCOT or
oh
Disney
my gosh,
Sea.
yes.
So awesome. But then we also heard from at Cami Michelle, who we finally got your name right. Thank you for letting us know, by the way. She said, for DCA, I would like to see Pixar Pier expand and get better. Put all Pixar in that area and maybe add Slinky Dog Dash or a new Coco ride. Hey, she was thinking similar. Yeah. It would be really cool to have like a Toy Story. I mean, Toy Story is so good and so special. And I would love to get, Slinky Dog Dash or even Slinky Dog Dash is amazing, but it'd be so cool that we don't have a Toy Story dark ride.
I know.
And Toy Story is just so
well, I mean, there's
awesome.
Midway Mania, which is not a dark ride, but I do love it. But I do feel like Toy Story, I don't know. I guess it just feels like the way that Pixar Pier is now and just all of that area. It's just like one thing here or there that's Pixar themed. It's not like there's anything really like dedicated to a specific movie.
Yeah. So,
which I don't know. I feel like it could use something like that because I just love in Disney World how there's, certain areas that are more dedicated to things like the Toy Story land. It's so cool. And we all love Toy Story. If you love Pixar, you love Toy Story.
That would be so cool. But I guess we'll see what they'll do.
We will see.
They did float Toy Story Land as a possibility for Disneyland Forward. So curious if they'll stick to that or do something else. Yeah. And then we also heard from at Ben Grande who said, Muppets, where are the Muppets? And I put this under California Adventure because I was like, okay, Hollywood Studios technically has some Muppets in there.
And they used to have a whole show that was
at California
theater,
Adventure.
Right?
Yeah, they did have the Muppet Vision 3D, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, maybe he was talking about California Adventure here or something on the California side. And yeah, I mean, there are some huge Muppets fans. I remember growing up with Muppet Treasure Island. It was like my favorite movie to watch when I was younger. But yeah, that would be so much fun. I think it is a perfect fit in Hollywood Studios. It's sad that I think it kind of shrunk in size. It's been a while since we've been there, but yeah, California Adventure too. Like if it were to go anywhere in California, I would say that area. I could see them doing that in like the Hollywood backlot or something because that's where Muppet Vision used to be.
That's where it was.
But
exactly.
that'd be so good. All right, we are jumping over to Florida.
Magic Kingdom.
Let's go.
Let's start. Yeah. So our idea, going back over to Riley on Main Street's idea of having a Villains Land, which we have dubbed Sinister Square.
Sinister Square, yeah.
And I think we had come up with this name when we did a episode last year, the year before.
Yeah, it was a Halloween episode coming up with the actual land. I think years ago we did one about a whole villains park. Mm-hmm. So instead of like Magic Kingdom, it was literally strictly only villains. But then once at D23 they mentioned they might do villains area. So we're actually kind of pulling from something that is possible as well.
Yeah.
We were like, let's do a villains land.
I think it's got to be possible. They have to be thinking about it. Yeah. Because they know how many people out there are fans of the villains.
Yeah.
So our idea is it would basically just be the inverse, the flip side of Magic Kingdom, pretty much the opposite.
The upside down.
The upside down. Kingdom, yeah. Although technically Maleficent, so we said it would be Maleficent's castle, obviously, because it's the creepiest, but she's technically in
Sleeping Beauty. I know, but you can't have any other castle.
Reverse, but close enough. I mean, it would be the opposite of Cinderella's castle, which is in Magic Kingdom currently. Yeah. But it would have a Phantasmic ride.
Yeah.
Which I just think would be incredible.
Yeah. Should I just quickly... We've talked about this in the past, but I'm just going to give you a little quick lowdown. Yeah. We thought it would be amazing because everyone loves Phantasmic. And you want to be able to meet all the villains, not just one specific thing. So we thought, how the villains are planning together to destroy Mickey Mouse. So inside Maleficent's castle, You see her meeting up with the other villains and you're kind of snooping around her castle. You see multiple villains, even Chernobog and all this stuff. And so you see Fantasmic from their perspective. And then you actually at the end see an animatronic Mickey, which would be the coolest thing ever. He does this whole like lightning flash and she burns up.
And then he wins, which kind of defeats the purpose of it being like a villain area.
Okay, let's just in the villain area. She will defeat Mickey Mouse. The most depressing.
No, that's awful. I don't like that either.
Wouldn't that be so awesome? I think that'd be so cool because you get to see multiple villains in one single ride. Oh,
I mean, yeah,
it'd be so creepy and amazing.
So good. They could do a lot with that idea. I feel
think
like
Rise of the Resistance ride style. Ooh, so good. It'd be so amazing.
So fun.
Yeah.
But we also had the idea that there could be a Cave of Wonders, which I feel like, once again, another very underrepresented movie is Aladdin. It would be so great to have a Cave of Wonders with a ride. I think we've talked about having a flying carpet ride. Would be so fun.
And I was thinking, for the queue of that ride, you actually go down the Cave of Wonders mouth, so you can feel what it's like to be Aladdin and maybe hear it rumbling, and then you finally get on your magic carpet, aka Flight of Passage, because everything's Flight of Passage.
Yeah, has to be.
We have a reel about like what we would want to do with Aladdin ride, and yeah, I mean that would just be so perfect.
It would be so
and yes,
much
it's
fun.
from the hero's perspective, but
I know
you can
I
see
keep
Jafar in there, and all that stuff, but
yeah,
it'd be cool. It'd be so fun.
It would be so fun.
Yeah,
I love that idea. But we also thought, got to think, food, beverage wise, of what
there's not a lot of
could be.
Villain cooks. So.
Yeah, not a whole lot, but the best we could come up with was Gaston's Pub.
He does frequent that place. Yeah.
He does. He's there a lot, and it looks like a happening place.
Yeah,
from what we can tell. And I think that would be a very fun addition to a villain's land.
Yeah. You could order like 4 dozen eggs. How many dozen eggs does he get?
5 dozen eggs.
5 dozen eggs.
60.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That should be like a secret menu item. 60 or 50
raw eggs, please.
Eggs. Yeah. That'd be perfect.
I would not go for that, but I think it would be really fun. It could be,
I mean, technically, I think Gaston's Pub, I just thought of that, is in New Fantasyland, but this would be like
that's true.
More rough and tumble.
Kind of different, but
who else would it be in?
I don't know.
Like a Disney villain. I don't know.
Kronk.
Ooh, it's like Yzma's castle when she takes it over, and Kronk is your guy.
Your chef.
Your
yeah.
chef.
Lots of spinach puffs.
Lots of just spinach puffs and drinks that turn you into different animals. Yeah, I like that. Okay.
There's another idea just off the top of my head.
And maybe while we're at it, Yzma's Lab roller coaster.
Yeah, we all need that. That has been a highly requested
everyone
ride.
Yeah. Oh,
I think
sure.
we all want some of that.
Yeah.
Heading down to the lab. Oof. Goodness.
Yes. That'd be so cool. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, that'd be so
such
perfect.
a fun idea.
And then you could buy lab coats at the end of the ride. Yeah. So perfect.
I would love it.
We also thought of the shop. We're like, how could we do a shop here? Dr. Facilier's stuffed dolls. So it's stuffed animals, but they maybe look a little more voodoo-y. That'd be cool, huh?
Yep. Sounds fun.
Yeah.
But we had one listener suggestion from @thebucktails who said, I need Tangled would be great for Magic Kingdom or an expansion of Germany and EPCOT.
Yeah.
It's a great idea.
That'd be so fun.
We all need more Tangled.
I know.
Another one that there's just not enough going on. Just that one section with a really cool bathroom in Magic Kingdom.
Maybe do an expansion there.
Bigger
like the first thing you see is a Tangled bathroom. And then it's like, by the way, there's also a land here.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. It's like the entrance to the park. Just a stinky little bathroom. Actually, no, that one does not stink. By the way, if you're listening and want to hear more bathroom talk, we do have an episode all about the best and the worst. And by worst, we mean stinkiest bathrooms, because some have extra stink. Okay. That was honestly my favorite episode to record.
I mean, it was a fun one. It was very off the wall, but
yeah. Ooh, it was fun. That was so fun. Actually, speaking of EPCOT, should I just go into EPCOT right now?
Yeah,
I'm going into EPCOT. I'm switching things around here. So let's talk EPCOT. So originally, if we could just build one extra land, we were thinking, and this is kind of sad to not go with this, but I think there's a reason why we don't go with this. We were thinking in EPCOT, we build in the World Showcase Polynesia. So it's like Moana and Lilo and Stitch. And that would be so cool. I mean, because you get something new and you get something, old millennial, which would be really fun. But there's already Moana in the, like nature-y section of Epcot, and it might feel a little disjointed. I know we brought Neverland, even though there's already Peter Pan there.
They've already done that so many times.
Yeah,
both with Astro Blasters in Disneyland while having everything Pixar in California Adventure, having Galaxy's Edge, but yet Star Tours outside of it.
True.
I mean, they are obviously not scared to like have things not where they should be.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, honestly, that would be amazing. We would need a lot of water there, like a little beach thing. But you also have the Polynesian.
Yeah.
So we do have that. So what we were
true.
thinking instead, we were like, you know what? I think everyone is thinking we're going to do something World Showcase, but let's do something outside of that, but inside something. You like that? Outside of that, but inside someone's head.
Yeah.
Weird way to put that. But in the whole like discovery section, Epcot, I never really know like the areas, but the one like learning area of Epcot, we were thinking, why not do an inside out area, which brings in IP, but also in a way that actually fits into Epcot. And so with this, Inside Out 2 is going to be coming out. I'm sure it's going to be a box office hit. I think Inside Out actually deserves a trilogy. I know that sounds weird to say because number one is so good. We haven't seen number 2, but if number 2 just crushes it, why not do Inside Out 1 when she's a kid, Inside Out 2 when she's a teenager, Inside Out 3, another pivotal moment, she was becoming an adult, has to live out on her own, college, all that stuff. I mean, it would be a perfect. Bridge for kids growing up and seeing kind of how that is and everything. So if that's going to keep going, why not just have an Inside Out section there? You could have your like headquarters where there's a lot of hands-on fun and learning. I keep bringing like hands-on activities in, but I think it's so great for kids. And Universal does that. Yeah, Universal does that so well with like really fun things to play around with, and Disney doesn't have as much. We do have that Moana one there now, which is really cool. But a whole area where you get to like learn about your mind and memories and changes and all this stuff. And we're thinking it'd be cool to do the ride there, which is the Train of Thought, just like is in the first movie. And this could be like a modern day version of Adventures Through Inner Space. You know how you get shrunk down and you see all the molecules and atoms and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
But this would be like going through the brain and how we about emotions and memories and all this stuff. I think that'd be so cool. I think it'd be perfect. I don't know what else you could do there. Maybe have like different, the different islands where you could learn. Oh yeah, I think we actually talked about this in an episode before, but you could have like a hobby island and there kids can like play with music or, color and draw and, maybe like a animation stuff. Academy there and that. And so kids could kind of mess around with things and figure out what their hobbies are and stuff like that.
We've obviously got like kid stuff on the brain.
Yeah,
as parents. It's like everything we're thinking about kind of relates back to like, what would our kids enjoy?
Oh, and then do an area for the adults that's just like making you feel sad that you're older now and not a kid.
Yeah,
and that's the thing for the adults. Yeah,
that's great. Sounds
that Disney
really
nostalgia thinking about when you're a kid again.
And
restaurant
pizza.
With broccoli on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I know we didn't actually write something down. And I was like, oh, I guess Pixar Pier has like the angry dogs, right? And things like that. So I guess you can.
That's true.
Yeah, you could do
something like that. There could
San
be a few
Francisco
options.
food style. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or why don't you just do like
food trucks,
crazy food inventions that you've just, that would be good. And so it's just like Riley's off the wall, like crazy food things and try to make it somewhat healthy.
Like
you're at a theme park, I guess not.
Yeah, probably not healthy, but
Bing bong
creative.
sweets. Yeah, all that stuff. It'd
true.
be so cool. But for Epcot, we did hear from a listener as well. And she was along the same lines as we were thinking too. At Breeserotnak. It's all smushed together. I don't know if it's
not sure like where it ends
Breeserotnak or Breeserotnak. That's it. Yeah, I love that.
You know who
Please,
you are.
yeah, you know who you are. We're probably butchering it, and I'm so sorry. But let us know. DM us and be like, it's
We're
actually
always butchering somebody's name.
we are, because it's hard when it's all smushed together.
Yeah. That's
It's hard.
Instagram's fault. It's
That
nobody's
is,
fault.
yeah, that is. But love that idea. Oh, did I even say the idea? No, Moana. Such a great idea. I mean, we want all the Moana.
All the Moana we can
Moana
get.
2's coming out this year.
Crazy.
So yeah, let's get some more Moana. I love Moana. But we are moving on to another area. And do you want to DAC? Yeah.
Yeah.
Animal K.
Let's talk about Animal Kingdom. So for Animal Kingdom, we know now at this point that Dinoland USA is moving out.
Yep.
Sad to say, but we're okay with it. I would say it was definitely not like a favorite area of Animal Kingdom. So I'm okay with that being gone. It would be sad if anything else left, but
yeah,
that's okay. So since Dinoland is moving on out of there, and from what it sounds like, they're going to be having more like Indiana Jones themed stuff going on there, which is very exciting because we love Indiana Jones, and it's going to add a lot to that area, I think. But that's kind of a little bit more of like a grown-up theme. So we thought, let's extend it out a little bit, make it a little bigger, and have a different area that is a little bit more for the kids. Once again, kid stuff on the brain all the time. But we thought rather than dinos, which left, to make it more animal themed because it is Animal Kingdom. Yeah. So we had the idea to create Animatropolis, which I think is a very
instead
fun.
of saying Zootopia, we're like, what's another thing we could do? Metropolis, Animatropolis.
Exactly. Yeah. But it could be kind of sort of with a Zootopia like overarching theme, I guess, where it's just kind of a whole area dedicated to the animals of Disney.
And there's a lot of great animals of Disney.
So many.
There's so many Disney animal movies that are not featured in the parks.
Yes, definitely not.
Yeah.
Enough, if at all. Yeah. Lion King, Robin Hood, 101 Dalmatians, Jungle Book. The list could go on. Yeah. But those are just some off the top of our heads.
Yeah. You know how Animal Kingdom is Africa and Asia, right? We could do like a metropolis center where there's a lot of, places where animals live, right? Like 101 Dalmatians, they live in like London. So you could do, that.
It would have to be very different areas because all of these animal movies are very different areas.
Yeah. And just like Zootopia, there's different like biomes that you go to, right? Like there's the forest and the winter area and all this stuff. But why don't you just do a kidified version of Animal Kingdom? So you know how you get Asia and Africa? Well, there is like a fun animal Asia area where you can have like Jungle Book and stuff like that. And then also a mini Africa, and that's where you could have your like Lion King and all that stuff. So it's pretty much like taking Animal Kingdom, Disney animalifying it. Yeah. And maybe there is like a little city area where the city animals
London.
Live, like London, Lady and the Tramp, or not 101 Dalmatians, Lady and the Tramp.
Lady and the Tramp.
All that stuff.
Too. Yeah. Robin Hood, Sherwood Forest. Who knows what that's supposed to be, but it's a forest, so it could be cool. Could be squeezed in somewhere.
Yeah.
I just think it's a really fun idea to have an area dedicated to the animals because there's so many good animal movies within Disney.
Yeah, it'd be so awesome. And here you could have rides. I've always talked about a Lion King ride. So a Indiana Jones style safari ride, but maybe a little less jerky so that that height requirement could drop down to about 40 inches or something like that. But you get really cool animatronics. You get to go through the Lion King ride, and that would be great. And then also for Jungle Book, you could do like a miniature water raft.
River Rapids meets Jungle Cruise, I feel like.
Yeah, so River Rapids with like both animatronics and stuff like that.
Like a much more mellow rapids type of ride where you're kind of like on a raft, but it would be like heavily animal focused, just like Jungle Cruise is.
It'd be so cool. And maybe even, because these are all older movies, maybe that main area, like the hub with the city is Zootopia, but you're taking like that Zootopia that was in, I think Shanghai, right? but you're expanding it out. So it's not only the animals from Zootopia. There's 101 Dalmatians in there, but then you could also go to the different biomes and those just explore other Disney animal movies.
Yeah.
So just kind of like taking the idea and expanding on it. It'd be so cool.
like it.
So this brings us to our last park over here, which is Hollywood Studios. I actually might start with the listeners and what they said first and then go into our ideas. So we heard from @JustAnotherMagicMonday who said, I don't know where, but I need a Goofy movie somewhere and soon. And I was thinking there were rumors that Rock and Roller Coaster was going to be changed to like a Goofy movie. And honestly, that would be pretty so
sick.
fun. So I had to put it in the
watched
Hollywood Studios park area. And yeah, we did just watch it.
Yeah.
Such a good one.
Son
It
loved
was,
it.
yeah, our son's first time watching it, but that would be so fun.
That would be great.
And then we also heard from @LiveLearnDreamMagic who said, I would love to see a return of behind the scenes things at Hollywood Studios. She misses the old stuff there. And so that kind of brings us to our idea too. You know, Hollywood Studios, they used to have the behind the scenes, you know, attraction. What was it? The backlot tour, right? And they got rid of that. But we were thinking it's all focused on movies. But what else could we do that still within the entertainment industry, but maybe doesn't touch upon movies or music like the park does? And we are thinking of creating a land called Blue Sky Boulevard. And if you know the term blue sky, the Imagineers use this a lot to just talk about their big project ideas, right? That may or may not happen. So like Blue Sky Boulevard. And this would bring you back to the heyday of WED Enterprise, which is what Imagineering used to be, Walt Disney Imagineering used to be back in the day. And so this touches upon entertainment, but the theme park side of that. So this land could almost kind of have that old timey feel that Sunset Boulevard has, right? And so it's just like the start of theme parks and all that stuff. And then it could also kind of talk about the evolution to Imagineering today. And so we thought, you know, Walt Disney always loved to leave the studio and go to the big warehouses that Imagineering was at and just kind of play around with what they were working on. And so this could be like a really cool area to learn how they do animatronics. So it just shows the evolution of the old ones to the new ones and how that technology has advanced over the years. And we were also thinking we would need a dark ride here. And I think this would be really, really fun. But a dark ride that takes you through the inception and the creation of Disneyland. So I know you're at Walt Disney World, but maybe it still ends with Disney World too. But you could start in like Marceline, Missouri, then go to Griffith Park where he first came up with the idea of Disneyland. Then you go through like orange groves and stuff like that. And then you see like the construction of Disneyland. And then it also, I almost think of it almost like Spaceship Earth, where it takes you through communication all the way around, but shows you just the start of the idea of Disneyland and then Walt Disney building his empire. And then you see the construction of Disneyland, then where it is today.
It would have to have something about Disney World, though.
Yeah, and then also just talk about, you know, the construction and then how he passed and didn't get to see it, but then all the amazing stuff that Walt Disney World did. But just like a really cool educational dark ride that shows you the advancements, but also shows you like, it's like a Walt Disney ride. We finally got a Mickey ride. We don't have like a Walt Disney ride. Yeah. And that'd be really cool to have in Hollywood Studios.
I would love it. I think it would fit so perfectly in Hollywood Studios too. Because it's like, you know, that's where he got his start. Yeah. It would be so fun to have a ride that was just dedicated to his lifelong dream coming to completion.
Yeah. I think it'd be really cool to have some sort of Imagineering area.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
We need that.
Yeah. Sure. But those are what we came up with. We thought those would be fun and we would love to experience them. But we know that you guys have amazing ideas as well. So if you're watching on YouTube, let us know in the comments below. Maybe you guys could click a thumbs on whatever one you think is the best. And yeah, if you're listening on podcasting platform too, go head over to YouTube. You know, make your thoughts be known. It's hard on Instagram because things kind of get lost in the mix of all the posts. So on this YouTube video, let us know your amazing thoughts for a new land at one of the Disney parks.
Yeah, because there's definitely stuff coming. I mean, I guess we still have yet to see what is going to officially be approved. Yeah. But yeah, we know that they're thinking of stuff. That they must have some ideas going on. So I'm very, very curious to see what those are going to be when it all gets revealed. Yeah, it's gonna be very exciting. I'm like excited but anxious. Like, please do something good. Please do something good. And you know what's crazy is that D23 tickets, I think,
are on sale now. And I bet this D23, if Disneyland Forward gets approved, is going to just be awesome because they'll be able to talk about what they want to do. Although they always talk and we don't really hear anything for years.
True.
But
can't really get too excited about those things.
Yeah, exactly. But we just thought it'd be fun to talk about our ideas. It's always fun to just dream.
Just imagine.
Yeah.
What, because a lot of us have the same ideas. If you're a big Disney fan, apparently we all have things that we really would love to see, and a lot of them align. So, you never know. I think maybe Disney's listening, not to us, but listening to the people, hopefully, and gonna do some things that we'd all be excited about.
Yeah,
we'll
for
see.
sure. It's so fun. But we just want to thank you guys so much for listening to this episode. Your support means so much to us. We have a Disneyland trip coming up in a few months, so that's going to be really exciting. That's kind of on the horizon for us. We are going to be getting tickets in a hotel soon, so
crazy.
We'll keep you guys updated as it's coming up. But thank you guys again so much. We love you guys, and we will see you guys next week.
We'll see you then, guys.
Have a good one.
See ya.
Bye.